Poppin', you heard? Welcome to another video. Drinking my carbonated flavored water. If anybody wants some carbonated, I don't even know if this is water, but it's ice, zero sugar, antioxidants, all that good stuff is in here. Watch the intro. Welcome to another video. Thank you for everybody who does watch the video. Please like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Today is really on, I like to come up with, topics that I write down on my phone, things that I think about throughout the week. So I thought about the word imperfection, right? And when I thought about that, I was like, I just thought to myself, I said, damn, why does people like to be so perfect, including myself? Like I'm not excluded from this. So this is for the people who are perfectionists, like perfectionist people. And when it come to me, a lot of my time growing up, all the way up until now, my age now, I always wanted to be perfect at something. I always wanted to just be perfect all the time and make sure I get it done from A to Z the correct way. And I had to learn that a lot of things ain't perfect. It took me a while to really understand that. It took me a while and I say it took me a while, but maybe it took me the right amount of time. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm fairly young still, so, I really don't stand by being perfect all the time, man. The reason, there's a few things why I believe why you shouldn't be perfect, but I like to say the first question that I had was, why do people want to be perfect? And a lot of the times people want to be perfect, maybe because of their past trauma, their failures in life, so they gotta be perfect now. Or maybe because of standards that parents have set. Maybe because of their own belief, their own, societal or internal reasons. This is why people want to be so perfect at something, right? And there's so many things that dial into each individual and why they want to be perfect. But there's some pros and cons with being perfect, right? There's some pros and cons. Now, I'm not going to list a whole pack of pros and cons on each side, but I'm going to say some of the ones that, stuck out to me that I feel like are the pros and cons of it is, so let's just start off with the pros, right? The pros of being perfect, I say, is being consistent. Like when you are just trying to be perfect at something, you might be really, really consistent and persistent at what you want to get. You know what I mean? If that's a goal, whatever you're trying to be perfect at, right? You're going to be locked in. That's a pro. That's definitely a pro. Another pro could be, let's just say that you just kind of go being consistent, but you driven. You got a lot of motivation under you. You got a lot of, energy to get where you're trying to go. And another thing, just doing whatever it takes. If you want to be perfect at something, you're going to do whatever it takes. You're going to do whatever it takes for you to go ahead and make sure that you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. Now, some of the cons that I feel come with being perfect is that you don't allow room for error. Like you just won't allow room for error. And if ever happens, you might overly critique yourself. You might overly, it just gets to that self-criticism, period. Just that self-criticism of you trying to just dig deep and like, why did you do this? You shouldn't have done that. This is what you should have done. That's hella negative, right? Then the next part I say is it's kind of like what I said for the pro, but this could also be a con, is doing whatever it takes. Now you're just doing whatever it takes to be perfect. You know what I mean? You might, void some of your morals and like your ethics. You might put that to the wayside because you trying to be perfect. You know what I mean? So like you got to be careful when you going towards this idea or ideology of perfection. The thing about it is that you want to allow room for error. You want to allow yourself to, say, okay, you know what? I failed at this. How can I get better at it? You don't want to be sitting there like just talking to yourself and beating yourself down so much, or like questioning yourself, or just not allowing yourself to like bask in whatever your process is. You want to bask in your process so you can understand your process. So allow that room forever so you could like sit down, dial in, and say, I bet, you know what? I'm not perfect at this, or like I'm not, change the word perfect, but I'm not good at this, I bet. So this is what I do here to improve on this. Sometimes with being perfect, you might not revert back to check on what you've done right in a positive way. You might you might not go back and check on what you've done wrong in a positive way. You might go back and check on what you have done wrong in a negative way because you're trying to be so perfect, right? You gotta think with being perfect, it leads to this certain behavior, this very tense behavior, and that leads to me with my next thing, that why you shouldn't be perfect is because it's a lot of pressure, unnecessary pressure, unnecessary stress. Now, I don't want people to misconstrue greatness and perfection. You know what I mean? Because some people would say in order to be great, you got to be perfect. That's a complete lie. And the reason why I say that is because when we look at Michael Jordan, when we look at Kobe Bryant, when we look at, LeBron James, and I'm giving three iconic players, you know what I mean? These three iconic players, they weren't perfect at everything. Like, there was games growing up when people say Kobe was a ball hog. There was days that I remember growing up watching Kobe, and Kobe missed how many shots I watched that man miss? Kobe used to miss so many shots, but it doesn't mean like he wasn't perfect all the time, but he was still great at the end of the day. I think he got 5 rings, 5 championship rings. So he had to work through some of his flaws to get him where, to get him to where he's at. LeBron, when he first came into the league, he was not a great shooter at all. He knew how to get to the basket, but that man was not a great shooter. Lo and behold, now he's like 38,000 points over Kareem. You know what I mean? So what I'm giving these players, MJ, let me not forget MJ. MJ didn't even make his high school varsity team. So with MJ not making his high school varsity team at first, and eventually becoming the all-star player that he was, what does that tell you? Is that they didn't lean on perfection, in my opinion. They might say otherwise. I feel like they leaned on the idea of getting better. They leaned on like the 1% rule. And I'm not saying that that was their rule, but the 1% rule, maybe I'm making this up, but I know like the 1%, which most athletes know, is that you want to get 1% better every day. And if you times that 1% by 365 days of the year, that's 365% better that you got. So you got to account for all your incremental, growth that's coming on throughout time. You can't be sitting here just crucifying yourself because you trying to be perfect. You got to understand that you want to enjoy your process and enjoy your journey as much as possible. You want to go ahead and bask in your moments. You want to go ahead and say, I bet, like, you know what? I wasn't good yesterday, but I'll be better today. Like you want to be able to have that flow. And that's the thing. You want to be in a flow state. A flow state is when you just moving swiftly, like ain't nothing really disturbing you. Even if you catch a little bump on the road, you still gonna be all right. Like you want to be in that flow state. Remember that key word I'm saying right now, flow state. Flow state is a beautiful state because ain't no stress there, ain't no complexity there. Everything, it is what it is, and you gonna learn from it. You're gonna learn from your process as the days and time go on. So stand by yourself. Don't be perfect. Each video I make, I will not be perfect. You know what I mean? Like people who know me, I used to I used to be a baller. I'm not a baller now. I just ball for fun. But with playing football and playing basketball, I wasn't the best kid on the block. Number one, basketball, I was a street player. I learned how to play basketball in the streets. Right. And from learning that, I had to go through some hiccups. I remember growing up, I wanted to be the perfect shooter. I would have my elbow tight, tucked in, L form, and I wanted the perfect shot every time. And how many shots did I miss? A whole lot of shots. In football, I wasn't the best catcher. I could not always catch a ball. I was overthinking, trying to be perfect every time. But, over the course of time, with me just allowing myself to be in a flow state and move freely, I've learned to get better along my way. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. You want to get better along your way. You don't want to go ahead and have this perfectionist mindset and thinking that you're going to get where you want to go. And, evidently, if you end up getting where you want to go by being so diehard perfect, then kudos to you. You know what I mean? I guess I'm also thinking about the sustainability of that. How can you sustain that? How can you sustain that kind of mindset without allowing room for error? Now, there are some perfectionist people, I guess, that they do allow room for error. So I guess this conversation really ain't for you. But I'm thinking when we're looking at the word, like the word perfect and its meaning, which means almost no room for error, like clean slate, perfect, like perfect. I think that could lead to a negative thought process, right? And I came up with this video today just because, like, I'm just thinking to myself, like, ain't nothing perfect. Like, I got scars on my body, you know what I mean? My body ain't perfect, so why should I be perfect? You know what I mean? Just trying to be perfect in everything that I do. When I was a kid, I fell. I got scabs that are permanent. You know what I mean? Like, I got hit in football. I got marks that's permanent. You know what I mean? And with those marks that's permanent, that doesn't make me perfect. So it doesn't, you know, like, it just doesn't, I don't see the relevance in being perfect. But I do see the relevance in working your ass off to be great. I do see the relevance in perfecting your craft. And perfecting your craft doesn't, like, that's just a phrase. Like, people gotta understand that there's power in words. There's like strong power in words, right? And with there being so much strength in words, you just gotta be mindful how you talk to yourself. You gotta be mindful of what you're trying to achieve with yourself. You know what I mean? Just be careful with how you wanna pursue what you're trying to pursue. Don't be so, you know, cold-hearted and like, yo, I gotta get this and I gotta do it this way. You gotta be flexible. You gotta be agile. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to go ahead and move swiftly. You know, so and it is what it is, man. Just remove that perfect mindset from you. Remove that perfect mindset from yourself. You don't gotta be perfect. You just gotta be better than who you was yesterday. That's all, you know, yourself is asking from yourself. You know what I mean? And you don't want to have these just unachievable expectations. Like, you know, the best phrase is unrealistic expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to have things that are obtainable. And that's not to say that you shouldn't dream big. You know, like, dream big, you know, go for the stars, aim for the moon, like Pop Smoke said, or like all that. Do all the things that you want to do. But I'm just saying, allow that room for error. Be in that flow state. You know what I mean? And I feel like then eventually you will touch your breaking point of greatness. You don't got to go ahead and try to be the best kid on the block. You just want to be the best kid for yourself so then the block can see that you are the best kid. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to close it off with that one. You know, being imperfect is nothing wrong with that. Striving for greatness, now that is a beautiful thing to do. And that's where I want to conclude at. You know what I mean? I'm basically going to go ahead and leave it there, man. Just remember, when you not being perfect, it's less stress on you. But when you are working hard, then you're going to feel, you know, a sense like a better euphoric feeling than whatever that perfect feeling is giving you. So with all that, I'm out of here. Peace and deuces, love. I'm going to drink my ice. Zero sugar. Is zero sugar in here? You know, they be saying there's zero sugar, but shit be tasting like there's some sugar in here. Let me read off what they got in here. Vitamin A. Oh, there was biotin in this drink. Oh, shit. I didn't even know that. Vitamin B. Oh, I heard that vitamin B and B12 is good for you. This is probably something that y'all don't even want to hear. I'm out of here.